Okay, it is Giving Tuesday as I'm recording this, and we are coming up to the end of the year, which means we are officially in charitable donation season. This is the time of the year where, yes, it's the holidays, it's a wonderful time with friends and family, but it's also the time when most of us come look at our finances and say, all right, what do we want to charitably give away this year? This is a time, today specifically, Giving Tuesday, where there's lots of incentive to give charitably to organizations you care about. So I want to highlight three ways that you can do that creatively that give you a bigger bang for your buck than just writing a check or transferring cash. So the first is donating appreciated stock shares. So if you have a brokerage account and you have an investment in there, and let's say you've invested $10,000 and it's appreciated in value, so let's say it's now worth 15, it could be any amount, but let's say you've got an investment that has grown. Well, typically, when you withdraw that money for yourself, you're going to pay taxes on the earnings on that money. But what you can do is, as opposed to writing a $15,000 check to an organization, you can donate that $15,000 stock to the organization. Now, what that does is it takes a stock that you are going to have to pay taxes on and it gives it to the organization to where you no longer have to pay taxes on the earnings on that. And you actually get the charitable deduction write off on your taxes for doing that, and the charity receives it. And because they're a 501c3, they don't pay taxes on the asset either. So you've taken money that you are going to have to pay taxes on, and you've given it to an organization where they don't have to pay taxes on it, and you still get the same charitable deduction you would have gotten had you written a check. Now, the kicker is you can take that check that you were going to give, just the cash, and you can put that back in your brokerage account, purchase that same investment, and now your portfolio looks the exact same. You had $15,000 of the stock, now you still do, but the basis is higher, so you don't have to worry about as much taxes later, and you've saved in taxes giving it to that organization, who they get the money tax free. So that's a huge benefit. The second one is using a donor advised fund. So this is an account that you can put money into where you get the charitable deduction upon putting the money in, and then you can give it out however you want to different organizations. So this is great if you're trying to give money at year end, but you don't necessarily have an organization in mind that you want to give it to, or you want more flexibility of, hey, I want to give more in this calendar year, the next calendar year for tax purposes. It really gives you a lot of flexibility from a giving perspective to have an account that's designated for being a charitable donor. So that's a great tool to have. And lastly, is for my older viewers, or if you're a younger viewer, for your grandparents or parents, it's for required minimum distributions. So if you have a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k and you get to a certain age, the government requires that you take a certain amount of money out every year and pay the taxes on it, because you've never paid taxes on this money. It's been a tax break for you your whole life. So it's not the best distribution to receive. It's kind of a bummer. But what you can do is something called a qualified charitable distribution, a QCD. A QCD allows you to say, hey, instead of taking this money out of my IRA and giving it to me where I have to pay the taxes, go ahead and give it to this organization over here. And similar to appreciated stock shares or investment shares, they receive that money tax free, and you no longer have to pay taxes on that distribution. So it's a really wonderful way where you've taken money that you owe taxes on and you give it to an organization as opposed to just writing a check to them, and they get the money tax free and you avoid the taxes on that distribution. Okay, so donating appreciated stock shares, donor advised funds, and qualified charitable distributions on your required minimum distributions are three ways that you can get really creative with your charitable giving on Giving Tuesday or throughout the end of the year or whenever you give, in order to get the best bang for your buck. All right,